Captain James Cook, born on the 7th of November, 1728, in Marton, North Riding of Yorkshire. He is most commonly known as an explorer, a navigator, and a cartographer. Cook was the son of a farmhand migrant from Scotland, and from a young age Cook showed signs of a curious and able mind, and his father's boss paid for schooling until he was 12 years old. He later went on to work at the same farm as his father, but a later apprenticeship led him to the ships and the sea. After a career with the Royal Navy that included battles in Quebec and mapping of the St. Lawrence River, in 1768, the Royal Society, in conjunction with the Admiralty, were organizing a scientific approach to explore the Pacific. A 40-year-old James Cook was appointed commander of the expedition. This expedition took the scientists to Tahiti to chart the course of the planet Venus, and in 1771 he returned to England, circumnavigating the globe and exploring the coast of both Australia and New Zealand. By 1772, he was commanding another major mission in the South Pacific and explored new parts of the Antarctic, charting the New Hebrides and New Caledonia. In 1776, Cook sailed from England again as the commander of the HMS Resolution and Discovery in January 1778. He made his first visit to the Hawaiian Islands. He may have been the first European ever to visit the island, which he named them the Sandwich Islands, after one of his patrons, John Montague, the Earl of Sandwich. Cook and his crew were initially welcomed by the Hawaiians, who were intrigued by the European ships and their metalwork. Cook traded metal for ship provisions while his sailors traded nails for the interest of the local ladies. They finished their expedition and eventually returned to Hawaii a year later, this time in Kealakekua Bay, which the native Hawaiians considered the sacred harbor of Lono, the fertility god of the Hawaiians. Cook and his men were welcomed as gods, as their arrivals also coincided with the festival dedicated to Lono. His crews attempted to leave the island, but Resolution's foremast broke and they returned to the island for repairs. After one of his crew died, the islanders discovered that Cook and his men were mere mortals, and tensions rose. A number of quarrels broke out, which included the theft of wood from a burial ground. A group of native Hawaiians stole one of Cook's small boats. Cook retaliated by attempting to kidnap and ransom King of Hawaii, Kalaniʻōpuʻu. The following day, February 14, 1779, Cook led the king away as those closest to the king had begged him to stay. A large crowd formed, and Cook turned to leave when he was struck on the head by the villagers and stabbed to death. The Hawaiians carried away his body into the town. Now, this is the part of the story where James Cook being cooked alive and eaten and there being a festival thrown, right? Well, not quite. The Hawaiians held Cook in such high esteem, which is why they retained his body, and following their traditional practices, they prepared his body using traditional burial rituals, which those reserved for chiefs and high elders, and the body was disemboweled and baked to assist the removal of the flesh. The bones were then carefully cleaned for preservation as a religious icon. When the rest of Cook's remains were eventually returned, he received a formal burial at the sea. And this is just a glimpse into the interesting life of Captain James Cook. If you enjoyed watching content like this, please be sure to leave a like down below and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And be sure to check out some of our other social media websites listed here. Thank you for watching, and if you would like to hear a topic, please let me know. Until next time.